All right, what's up, guys? Of course, got a video here. Last couple of videos, have been taking a minute to upload. Usually, I guess like for the time being, the Wi-Fi at my home is slow. But usually when I end up going to school and I connect my devices to the Wi-Fi, it'll kind of like upload very, very soon. So in about another day or so, hopefully those videos will go up. Hopefully they can just go up on their own already without me having to have to be at school and whatnot. But again, it's just how things are. At this point, I just kind of have to accept that stuff like this is just gonna happen. And it's just inevitable. It's just one of the many challenges of just like, of course, uploading every day. Not every video is gonna upload when I want it to exactly. So yeah, that's just something I have to accept. In regards to the routine here, I'm doing 100. I did in total 105. I guess you could say belt squats. And then I did 100 lunges, and then I did 2 sets of leg raises. So you can see that I'm standing on some bricks, and then of course I have like a dip belt, and I have some weight. It's only 25 pounds. I really just kind of wanted to see like how well I can perform this movement or how the movement can like be performed. So I was like, I'm just gonna start with 25 pounds and that's it. Of course, worked up or did up all the way to 105 reps, and I think I kind of liked it. I definitely did feel a lot more attention, and of course, this is a way to put on some more weight. I kind of got this specific setup idea from this like African bodybuilder or like TikTok bodybuilder, African TikTok bodybuilder. He was doing this. He was standing on top of some stuff, and he had like a dumbbell hanging off from in between his legs. So I was like, you know what, I want to try that. Now this is possibly an alternative to just using something like a weighted vest. But with a weighted vest, sometimes it'll kind of like drag down on your shoulders, and it'll kind of like make your traps a little sore throughout the set, at least from my experience. And of course, it depends on how heavy you're going. Like if you're doing like a full 45-pound or 50-pound bag or 40-pound bag or vest, sorry, not bag, you're gonna feel like your traps working. And then of course, like maybe when you're sweating really hard or whatever the case may be, it might irritate your skin. And then of course sometimes vests can kind of just be awkward a little bit, especially taking them on and off. So because like you kind of have to put it over your head or you have to take it off over your head, stuff like that. So of course it might be a bit difficult, and I'd say this is a very interesting way to load the movement. Now, of course, it's gonna like you're gonna run into some problems, at least with my setup here, since I'm like just using blocks basically. But if I were to put like a 45-pound plate, I know for a fact it would probably just hit the ground. In fact, just me standing on the cinder blocks by themselves, the 25-pound plate is hitting the floor or was hitting the floor. And when you're kind of looking at the footage now, you can kind of see that it's very close to the floor. So you might want to use like smaller plates, or if you have like plyometric boxes that are like a lot higher than what I'm standing on right there, then definitely use those. And I would say you can definitely try and load this movement heavier. And when I mean heavier, I mean like, maybe even something like 100 pounds if you're able to do that. Because again, it's like with a vest, you can really only put so much weight on a vest. But when you're using a belt, you can put basically as much weight as you're able to. That won't intervene with like, your performance of that movement, right? You'll see people who do weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, they'll have like so many plates in between their legs, and it doesn't get in the way. Now here, you have to actually have a setup. I'd say the heavier though you go, it is going to be hard to step up on there. So you probably want to get like a dip bar or something like that, like a parallel bar, and use that as like a support handle. But of course, make sure you don't actually push yourself up whilst doing the movement. And I'd say that probably would be like the one downside of this if you're gonna get like a support or something like that to hold on to keep your balance or to make sure you don't fall over or whatever with the heavier weight that you get. it might be tempting to kind of just push yourself upwards with your upper body when you have your hands on that support. But, again, just make sure you just do what is supposed to be right, right? So it's like doing a sissy squat. If you're doing a sissy squat with assistance by holding a beam or whatever the case may be, just really, again, make sure you use your legs. So, like, either kind of like have your fist or your wrist over the support or whatever the case may be. So that way you're not cheating. So after these belt squats, I did 100 lunges. Um, so I really just did them kind of like I did like one going all the way down, and then I would do them reverse. So I would just do, walking lunges and then reverse walking lunges. Definitely challenged my balance and my coordination. Specifically, of course, the backward lunges. It's very interesting. Like, it's a movement I've basically never done whilst moving forward. I would always do reverse lunges, here and there when I was doing like daily full body, and I would like switch out squats with lunges. I would do some, reverse lunges, 100, 120, whatever the case may be. But doing them in motion is very interesting because you kind of have to have a lot more balance and a lot more trust in your own feet. Of course, like I said, a lot more coordination. Just even think about walking backwards, just something simple as that. It might be hard to do because of course, for one, you don't have eyes behind your head. And then if you're walking backwards, you're not looking in front of you, then how can you tell, like, the complete and total coordination of your body, right? So it's just like, for one, you kind of have to trust yourself with this type of movement. At least that's how it felt for me. And you're also just challenging your own balance and everything like that. Like, you can kind of see that I have to kind of stop on one leg sometimes for some of the reps, and then, continue pressing that leg backwards. But yeah, I definitely say definitely, like with lunges, I think they're best executed when you do them in motion, in like a forward motion. So when you're doing walking lunges, if you go to a gym or whatever, if you have enough space to do so, I would say, do walking lunges. You can take dumbbells or whatever and then do them like that. Or if you just want to do like your body weight, like how I do, that's of course totally fine. It's more free that way. You can just literally go outside, go to the park, whatever, and just do lunges across the whole time, the whole place. Of course, I have my backyard here, so that's like, the place I'm going to be doing lunges. Your muscles are also working differently when you are doing the reverse lunges. So when you're doing regular lunges, that's going to be, of course, a lot more quads. But when you're doing reverse lunges, that's going to be a lot more glutes. Of course, you're still going to get quads. You're still going to get all the muscles working. You might not feel that difference, but especially if you're going to do them like how I do them, like, I'm literally alternating in between them. But again, like, you're gonna get that benefit of being able to do more with like basically one movement pattern in one session than if you were to split them up into multiple sessions. And of course, like the way I was doing them, I just like kind of like stopped at a certain point and then I walked backwards or I lunged backwards. I so technically I didn't get an even amount of lunges and I didn't get an even amount of reverse lunges, but overall, like, I still did 100 reps. Each leg did about 50 lunges in general, no matter if it had more reverse lunges or if it had more regular lunges. The whole point was kind of like just to work those two movements, and just to kind of see how I felt to them or how I experienced them. And then one thing too is like I don't have like flat terrain in my backyard, so it's just kind of interesting to have to really adjust my foot placing and my balance because every step I took it was like completely different, right? Like, there might have been slight shifts in the terrain, and I think in terms of naturalism in a way, that's probably how you kind of want to work out. You want to work out on uneven surfaces, surfaces that are like hard or tough, surfaces that just mimic how we would actually walk and move around in nature before you know this supposedly like civilization and stuff like that. So that way you kind of again like your coordination, balance, things like that. Those are challenged a lot more on uneven terrain than if you were to just do flat terrain the entire time. So here I'm doing leg raises, Nothing crazy. I did 2 sets. I'm doing these twisted ones for obliques. I don't know, just twisted leg raises or knee raises actually. I've been really wanting to make sure I develop my obliques and just my core in general. And for me, to be honest, like my ideal like core in a way is like the Farnese Hercules statue, like super developed abdomen, and that's how I kind of want my core to look. So that's why it's like it's very important to hit your obliques, not even just for aesthetic reasons, but for just performance and stuff like that, because we twist and move our bodies in so many different ways, and with a lot of just basic calisthenic movements or even weight movements, we're not moving our bodies in that 360-degree motion. So by doing like something like Russian twist, something like twisted leg raises or knee raises or whatever, like medicine ball throws, whatever, sledgehammer, whatever the case may be, where you're twisting, that's going to be, so much more beneficial for your back as well. Because now that you're working your obliques, you're working more muscles of your core, and your core supports a lot of your ability to stand upright and to be able to exert force from the middle of your body. And what's in the middle of your body also, it's your lower back. So now that you have more muscles that are built up to surround your lower back for better security, you're less likely to get like back pain and stuff like that. So just make sure you train your core. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.